let's review two things about fractions that will come in handy. Let's say we had 3 over, let's do 20 plus 7 over 30. So we need to figure out a common denominator for 20 and 30. So we factor them. What goes into 20? 4 and 5, which breaks down into 2 times 2 times 5. You understand that? Okay. 30 breaks down into 5 and 6, which is 2 times 3 times 5. You agree? So my common denominator needs to have every number you see there, and it also has to have the greatest multiplicity of every number. So how many 2's go in my common denominator? 2. Could I put 3 if I wanted? Yeah, but then in the end you're going to have to simplify it anyway, so we're not going to. So we have that covered. How many 3's do I need? How many 5's do I need? 1. Everybody understand that? Okay? So now, what is my first denominator missing? A 3. What is my second denominator missing? A 2. So it's 9 plus 14. 9 and 14 make 23. And 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12, times 5 is 60. Does 23 over 60 simplify? 23 is prime. Does 23 go into 60? No, so that would be the answer. Okay? The other thing we need to remember is, what if I had 4/3 divided by 6/5? How do you divide two fractions? If you're Tom Hansen, you just flip in times. That's what Tom says. Just flip in times. If I were to set this up in a different way, 4 over 3 divided by 6 over 5, you flip one of them. Does it matter which one? Yes, it does. You flip the second one. So this is 4 over 3 times 5 over 6. Now, before you multiply, we might as well cancel. So, do you see any factors in the top that are also in the bottom? 2 goes into 4 and into 6. So this would be a 2 and this would be a 3. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 3 is 9, and that would be the answer. Okay? But what if I didn't? What if I didn't factor that out? 4 times 5 would be 20, and 3 times 6 would be 18. Are those equal? Yeah, they are. Okay? What if I had, let's say, 12/15 divided by 6? Do you see how we have a small fraction bar and a big fraction bar? Small fraction bars are considered to be in parentheses. Okay? So I'm taking a fraction and dividing it by a whole number. Can I turn a whole number into a fraction? Yeah, how? Put it over 1. Now I have fraction divide fraction. I flip and times. 1 over 6. Can I simplify anything? So 6 goes into 12 twice. 2 times 1 is 2. 15 times 1 is 15. That's basically all that we're doing today, but we're going to be combining division and addition and subtraction. So take a look at the first problem on your worksheet. So we have two things going on. We have a division and we have a subtraction. Before we can perform that division, we need to figure out what the denominator is. So how do I do 3 divide 4 minus 3 divide 2? I'm going to double this 2 over 2. So 3 over 4 minus 6 over 4 equals negative 3 over 4. And this would be 4 over 1. Everybody see that? Well, I skipped a whole bunch of steps. 3 over 4 minus 3 over 2. This is 2 times 2. So my common denominator is 2 times 2. And this one is missing a 2. Does that make sense? Yeah, I won't skip those steps again. Sorry. So fraction divide fraction. I flip this one upside down. So negative 4 over 3. Can I cancel anything? Nope. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. 1 times 3 is 3. And that would be my answer. Yes. You have to reciprocate. Yeah. You must. And the reason why, what is 4 divided by, well, that's a bad example. What is 14 divided by 2? 7. So what that means is, if you take 14 of something and you divide it into 2 groups, how many groups are there? 7. But it also means if you had a 14-foot board and you cut it in half, how big would each board be? 7. It also means if you had a 14-foot board and you cut it into 2-foot lengths, how many 2-foot lengths would there be? 7. So division can mean a lot of things. But what if I did 14 divided by 1/2? If you took a 14-foot board and you cut it into 6-inch lengths, how many lengths would there be? 20, 28. You have 14, you have a board that's 14 feet long. Okay, and then you go through and you cut that board into 6-inch lengths. That's going to double the number of lengths, or that's going to double. Did I not put the right amount on there? Well, so if you cut a 14-foot board into 2-foot lengths, there would be 7 lengths, right? If you took a 14-foot board and cut it into 6-inch lengths, a half a foot lengths, then for every foot you would have 2 boards. You guys leaving? Okay. So is there a way to take 14 and times it by a number to equal 28? What would be 14 times 2? And 2 happens to be the reciprocal of 1/2. So 14 divided by 1/2 is the same thing as 14 times 2. If you had a 14-foot board and you were cutting it into 3/4 of a foot lengths, so that would be a division, you'd flip it upside down, 14 times 4/3, and that would tell you how many boards there are. Okay. So let's look at one that's got, let's do 5. We'll do 5 and 6. Okay. So number 5, I look at my addition. Do I have a common denominator? Yes. So what is 3 over x plus 1 over x? So we have 4 over x. And my numerator is x over 1. So now I flip and times x over 4. What is x over 1 times x over 4? X squared over 4. And that one was actually really easy. Okay? If you look at number 6, So, if I look here, what is my common denominator? Everybody agreed that the common denominator is 25. So what does the left fraction need? A 5. What does the right fraction need? Nothing. So 5 times 16 is 80 minus 16 over 25. Everybody okay with that? 80 minus 16 is 64. So the bottom is 64 over 25. Now what? Reciprocate and multiply 25 over 64. What is 16 times 25? Oh, first off, can I cancel? What goes into 16 and into 64? 4 does? 8 does? 16 does. How many times does 16 go into 64? 4 times. So this would be a 1, and this would be a 4. 1 times 25 is 25. Now this is kind of tricky. What is 4 times m minus 1? 4m minus 4. And that's it. Okay? Look at the back side. Don't do 12. We're not going to do this, but number 7, what's the common denominator? 3x. So what does the left side need? A 3. What does the right side need? Nothing. Number 8. 7. Number 8, what's the common denominator? 5a. What does the left side need? A. What does the right side need? A 5. Okay, number 9, in that top part, what is the common denominator? 36. So the left needs a 4 and the right needs a 9. Okay. Let's do we want to do 32? No, we don't. Or 13. Don't do 13 either. We will do stuff kind of like that, but not yet. You're not ready. Okay, and you don't have answers, do you? Okay, I'll put them up on the board. Good luck.